Anyway, is there any kind of things to do in relation to our democracy or any kind of things to do in relation to our Serbs? Because based upon Brendan, what is the koflong of knowing how the bras and things work? Didn't your dad used to have a bras and things? And what happened? Hmm. We used to work together, Brendan. And the guy that works at Safeway, using lettuce, he said it was fresh. Oh, believe me. Right, fresh lettuce, right? Didn't I show you I was cleaning my skyline, the one I gave to my dad? Ah, haven't seen you for yonks. So anyway. Oh, and the Indian girl. Didn't we used to go to Red Pepper and Green Pepper to have an appointment to have something to eat? I don't remember now. We were old. So anyway. Okay. So far so good in relation to demolition. I love demolition. So funk in relation to demolition. Is there any cats? How many years has the cat started? Hmm, you know, later on I'll do some research and find out where. You're blocked. Warning. Anyway. Okay, everybody. In life, the commitment states that we do not unknown the ekadam because New Andrew at Slater and Gordon, the computer system has been fertilized in relation to understanding the sperm whale because the history of the sperm whale is that the Great Ocean Road is a beautiful, beautiful tree. When did that make? And 12 apostle. But now there's only one left. But I haven't been there for so long. It probably would disappear. Oh, what a shame. So anyway, on the countryside of the node, our SERP will be reassessment in relation to New Andrews. But in that way, how do we convert the percentages of its validation by W3C? So Brendan, when you do web design in relation to your HTML and CSS, if you validate in that one, you get some errors. But in relation to some errors, you just keep doing it until you get no more errors. Then, in the browser, it charges the next level, etc., etc. So that's how you learn to become a web designer. Yes. Including that Malaysian dude with Jeff, because he passed in Darwin. Oh, is that true? Poor bugger. How's your wife? He likes rock and roll. Yes, he does. And he wears like an earring, stud, moon. He used to ride bicycle. Oh well, doesn't matter. So, okay. In need we need, in need we need. So in that way, Slade and Gordon, in need we need, in need we need. What is the evelocon of the Great Ocean Road to visualize its own neutron? Ah. How does the 12th apostle become? Because it would be millions of years, right? So in the mountain of the rock and roll, how does it swamp into Outala by the river? Like it gets cut. So when it gets cut, does it move forward or move side forward? Does it? Don't know how the Great Ocean Road works in relation to the 12th apostle, because there is London Bridge, but it's broken. Don't know. Anyway, the fractal of our mountain by drinking water is econon in relation to our own soil. So, mud crab, millions of years you become Kermon. So in that way, it's edible, we can eat them, but I feel sorry for them. Can anyone give me a collar? Take a crab for a walk? I wanted to do that when I was young, living in Maidstone with my mom. And, oh, you know, the original statue of Buddha. Anyway, including pippies. Pippies? Oh, I love pippies. You know what I did? I just put a glass. I put salt. Or, just put it in. Well, of course they're gonna die. Oh. But my mum used to cook a lot of beautiful snails. Yes, and pippies. Oh, yum. And crab. It, that's why I love fake stuff. Sorry. I just feel sorry for the animals. But we eat. In a million years we become an animal. Or something. Anyway. Selection of the reference number based upon select hygiene. The marquee mark is a tetaton in relation to Griffon, because the graphics based upon table tree is the Great Ocean Road to perform the photocophon. To perform the photocophon is that once we can reassemble the bridge, then we know. If we can't, then we cannot. But the sand of the sea is just the sand of the sea based upon the foundation of our water. But in relation based upon the foundation of our water, how does the riverside becomes Irno? In time, we'll get creators. I know rock and roll, its main creator, that create rocks. Is that in the mountain? Oh. So chemically, how does those nova supercharge itself into the alchemistry to create diamonds, gold, silver, brennan, and stuff like that? It's just the telescope. Since this planet has been created, how does it, form into a river, boundary, forest, trees, dinosaur, dingoes, test devil, etc. Over those years. So over those years, the history of the hierarchy is that the Bogoton, the Bodusun, and the pillar of 2ppx5 and 2pp1x5 and 2ppx15 is just a dig. What does that mean? If there is a account in relation to our accumulation of novel, the murderer is a outcome of our own pace, but of our own pace, the pirates are just souvenirs of severe coins. So in that way, Queen Elizabeth, your movie, Spanish coins. How do we become pirate coins based upon Lord of the Rings? But in that way, the complexity of our own mud crab, Thompson by the Earl. So in that way, when it has a feet, how did it becomes brain without the hermit, the citizen of Dix? But in that way, of Dix is just a tracer of via vertical lines of crawls. How do I crawl? Right? So in that way, when we eat them, it doesn't even really matter because there's heaps of them. But in that way, if we understand how come, how more, and how vor, can we all allow to pin out where the depth of the hole is before it comes out. So, Gemolix. What is your scientists? I don't know which one they do that. Gemolix. So in that way, if there is a sand, one grain of sand, to know that it's mudstone to Purulu is owned urine, then it matches the next crab. But then again, when it matches, how do they fertilize to become an octopus? Is that a kind of herpes to ablang their own spices? Or whipping into their own stomach to eat? I used to eat it. My dad cooks it beautifully. And I used to eat the brain. So in that way, it's just a source of code in relation to its brain melting down, eating. And in that way, our king-size crab is a coquelin of yeaston. Where do they come from? Red tea. Red tea. You can eat them too. So, in relation to where do they come from, red tea, does any hermits know that the Cimarella tea of Sensibilla is only crab feet to store? So, if they look through it, how do they know Futurama to become the character? Oh, that's not a crab. It's just a crayfish or something. Crayfish. So in that way, Peninism, crayfish. How do prawns, spices, satay in relation to their own similarities of cookers and to know the produce of dirty So in that way, Gingerbread Man, based upon our Bakera, the textodon of Great Ocean Road, Bayou, Queensland design. So mud crab in relation to your river sea, how do you become two